Welcome back to episode 4 of the Sleepy Podcast, where I attempt to bore you to sleep by reading articles from Wikipedia. Today I'm reading the article The Simpsons Hit and Run. Please remember to like and subscribe at the start of the video if you did enjoy, as you may be asleep by the end. The Simpsons Hit and Run is a 2003 action-adventure game developed by Radical Entertainment and published by Vivendi Universal Games. It is based on the American animated sitcom The Simpsons, and is a 22nd installment in the Simpsons series of video games. The game follows the Simpsons family and their friend Apu, who witnesses many strange incidents that occur in Springfield. Security cameras, mysterious vans, crop circles, and a new and improved flavour of the popular soft drink Buzz Cola that causes insanity. Taking matters into their own hands, they discover numerous shocking secrets, and soon realize these incidents are part of a larger alien conspiracy caused by Kang and Klados. The gameplay largely focuses on exploration and missions. Players often race enemies and interact with supporting characters on timed quests. The game also features many elements found in role-playing games, such as branching storylines and side tasks. Beginning in early 2002, the development of The Simpsons Hit and Run was extensive. The team sought to differentiate the game from The Simpsons Road Rage, deeming their new entry into the franchise required a different direction. The game was heavily inspired by the Grand Theft Auto series, and the development team repurposed the open-world design and nuanced character development for the game. This encouraged collaboration with the show's writers and cast, who helped craft the story and dialogue. It was released in September 2003 for the GameCube, PlayStation 2, and Xbox, and it was later ported to Microsoft Windows 2 months later. Upon release, it received positive reviews from video game critics, with praise particularly focused on the interpretation of The Simpsons television series as a video game, its parody take on Grand Theft Auto 3, and graphics, while criticism mostly surrounded around some aspects of gameplay, such as bugs and glitches. It is often considered one of the best Simpsons tie-in games, and has gained a cult following. The game was also a commercial success, with recorded sales over 3 million worldwide. It was received the award for Fave Video Game at the 2004 Nickelodeon Australian Kids' Choice Awards. On the PlayStation 2, GameCube, and Xbox, it earned Greatest Hits, Player's Choice, and Platinum Hits, respectively. Gameplay. The Simpsons Hit and Run features 7 levels over 3 separate maps, each with missions and subplot. The player can control one specific character in each level. The game's playable characters are Homer, played twice, Bart, played twice, and Lisa, Marge, and Apu. When following on foot, the player character can walk, jump, run, and perform 3 types of melee attacks: a normal kick, a jumping kick, and a smashing move. To drive, the player can either hitchhike and control the driver in one of many civilian vehicles that drive endlessly around the town, or use a phone booth to select a car. Several hidden vehicles are present in each game, and can be used by the player if found. The game during the missions are also similar to those of Grand Theft Auto 3. In both games, the player races around the characters, collects items before the timer runs out, and wrecks the other cars. The game has a sandbox-style format that emphasizes driving, and the player controls their character from a third-person view. The character can avoid certain acts of violence, such as attacking pedestrians, blowing up vehicles, and destroying the environment. The Simpsons Hit and Run has a warning meter that indicates when the police will retaliate for bad behavior. Located in the bottom right corner of the screen, the circular Hit and Run meter fills up when the character runs people over and destroys an object, and decreases when the player ceases to do so. When full, several police cars chase the character for the duration of the hit and run. Each level contains items that the player can collect, such as coins, which can be gathered by either smashing Buzz Cola vending machines, Buzz Cola boxes, or Wasp cameras, the latter of which can become more elusive as the game progresses. The coins can be used to buy cars and player outfits, some of which are required to progress through the game. The player can also collect itchy and scratchy cards. There are 7 cards in each level. When the player collects all 7 cards in a game, a racing minigame called Bonus Game is unlocked. Overall, there are 7 racetracks to unlock for the bonus game by collecting every card in a level. When all 49 cards are collected, in all the levels, the player unlocks a special Itchy and Scratchy Show video. Several events cause the player to lose coins because the characters cannot die. Injuries cause the player to lose coins. If the player is apprehended during a hit and run, they will be fined 50 coins. Plot. Mysterious happenings are occurring in Springfield. A horde of robot wasps descend upon the city at the beginning of the game, after a traction beam abducts Bart outside a stadium. Lisa attempts to find her brother by exploring the town for clues. She learns that the black sedans that have been appearing around the town are connected to Bart's disappearance. Lisa eventually finds Bart on a ship in Springfield Harbor. He appears to have memory loss and is mumbling unintelligibly, while occasionally mentioning the sedans and Buzz Cola. The new and improved cola drink is recently launched by the television personality Krusty the Clown. Marge sets out to learn what has affected Bart, as she investigates the crop circle that have recently appeared in Cletus Buckler's crop field. Abraham Simpson tells Marge that the crop circle is the exact replica of the Buzz Cola logo. Marge gives a can of cola to Bart, which snaps him out of his stupor. Bart reveals that Buzz Cola is a mind control cola produced by aliens. Marge decides to pursue Springfield for the cola, but in spite of her valiant efforts, the drink still maintains its popularity. Inspired by Marge's efforts, Apu tries to discover the source of the cola. He finds out that cola trucks are registered to the Springfield Museum of Natural History. Apu and Bart decide to go inside the museum, where they find a meteor as a source of the cola. They eavesdrop on a conversation between aliens Kang and Kodos, who are masterminding a scheme. Apu and Bart learn that the WASP cameras are filming the antics of Springfield for an intergalactic reality show, Foolish Earthlings. The aliens are using the cola to make people insane, by which time Kang and Klodos will distribute laser guns among the populace to drive out the town into a violent massacre, sure to draw in many viewers. Apu is frightened of the aliens, but refuses to help any further, so Bart takes it upon himself to foil Kang and Klodos' plan. He asks Krusty for help, but Krusty informs Bart that he has already helped the Duff Brewery set up 3 laser gun stands around Springfield. Bart then goes to his father, Homer, for help, and the duo quickly persuade Kang and Klodos to the brewery. However, the aliens escape, and before departing, they reveal that they have already replaced Buzz Cola throughout Springfield's water supply. As the cola seeps into the ground, it releases the undead from Springfield Cemetery, who invade Springfield in the night of Halloween. When Homer collects supplies to protect his family and the house from mooring zombies, he decides to pursue a black sedan, which he believes to belong to aliens, to the Springfield nuclear power plant. The sedan, however, belongs to Professor Frink, who has discovered that the aliens' weakness is nuclear waste. He plans to use a spaceship's tractor beam to suck up cars that are loaded with drums of nuclear waste. After successfully loading Frink's car, along with 3 more, into the alien's tractor beam, the ship explodes. The following day, Springfield is returned to normal. Development. The developer, Radical Entertainment, receives the right to create video games for the Simpsons franchise when they demonstrated a playable prototype. Radical released the first Simpsons game in 2001 called The Simpsons Road Rage. After Road Rage was released, the development team for Hit and Run decided not to create a sequel to Road Rage. Instead, Radical wanted to steer the franchise in a different direction by giving the video game a complete overhaul. The developers felt that everything else needed for a new approach, while only driving portion of Road Rage was worth keeping. The Hit and Run enhanced the traffic artificial intelligence is introduced, which makes computer-controlled vehicles react better to the player's driving. Also decided to add an exploration element to the game to make players get out of the car and navigate the area on foot, so the game offered a better experience of Springfield. When developing the graphics, the team decided to introduce landmarks from Springfield. The player is allowed to enter some of them, including the Quickie Mart, Moe's Tavern, Springfield Elementary School, and the Android's Dungeons & Dragons baseball and card shop. During the Hit and Run's development, 20th Century Fox, Gracie Films, and Matt Groening, the creator of The Simpsons, played important roles in bringing the Simpsons universe into a 3D environment. All characters' voices were supplied by the actual cast, and the series' writers wrote the entire story for the game, including dialogue. Voice samples from the original to the game, as well as one-liners from the show, can be heard in Hit and Run. Some of the dialogue is reused from previous game, The Simpsons Road Rage. Tim Ramage, the associate producer of the game's publisher, Vivaldi Universal Games, considered it a blessing to have the opportunity to be working with the Simpsons cast. along with writers, with Ramage saying, "You have no concerns about quality, you know they're the best at game whether it is." The game's soundtrack was primarily composed by Mark Barrell, in association with composers Jeff Tarmichael and Alan Levy. The soundtrack includes various arrangements of the original Simpsons theme by Danny Elfman, and features specific melodies for each playable character. For example, Bart's gameplay is accompanied by hard rock, while Lisa's is laid-back motifs that Stephen Hopper of Game Zone compared to the Beach Party films. Critical reception. Hit and Run received generally favourable reviews on all platforms according to the review aggregation website Metacritic, and many consider it to be the best Simpsons game to date. Praise focused on the move from the Simpsons television series to video game format, while criticism targeted some aspects of gameplay. Hit and Run won the award for Fave Video Game at the 2004 Nickelodeon Choice Awards. 1 million copies of the game were sold on June 2004, and 3 million on July 2007. The game's PlayStation 2 version received a Diamond Sales Award. Entertainment and Leisure Software Publishing Association, or the ELSPA, indicated sales of at least 1 million copies in the United Kingdom. A number of reviews complimented the transportation of the Simpsons television series to a video game. Justin Leeper of Game Informer and Alex Navarro of GameSpot commented on how well the game depicted the fictional city of Springfield from the television series, and also called it the most accurate representation of Springfield ever put into a game. Official Xbox magazine said that the game did the show justice, and Play felt that it was essentially the show in real time, summing up its review by calling the game a truly great crossover product. Navarro thought that the humour that the game offered, as well as excellent self-referential jokes, and Eric Bush of Team Xbox concluded by predicting that the game would be extremely appealing for gamers, especially hardcore Simpsons fans. Entertainment Variety magazine summarised The Simpsons Hit and Run was the first Simpsons game to include humour comparable to what is in the television series. Hit and Run's parody take of Grand Theft Auto 3 video game was praised by several reviewers. Zach Menston of GameSpy considered it to be definitely satirising the Grand Theft Auto while almost being as entertaining, and suggesting that Hit and Run improved several aspects that it borrowed from Grand Theft Auto, including instant mission restarts and superior guidance system, and an easily accessible collection of vehicles. Official Xbox magazine agreed that Hit and Run was an excellent game in its own right, and found the game to be a brilliant clone of Grand Theft Auto. The contribution of the Simpsons universe with the gameplay of the Grand Theft Auto series was also praised by Douglas C. Perry of IGN as pure brilliance. Positive reviews of Hit and Run focused on its graphics and gameplay. Play appreciated in the virtual world that the game offered, describing it as grandiose in its expanse and artistic rendering. Navarro found the gameplay to be very engaging. Meston found the game to be very fun and very funny, and Leacher called it nothing short of astonishing. Despite positive reactions, the game also had serious issues that were brought up in several reviews, which focused on the game's bugs and glitches. Both Bush and Mr. Tickle of Game Revolution pointed out that the Hit and Run had a few gameplay issues and graphical shortcomings that included strange artificial intelligence behaviour and a broken camera system, which they felt hindered the overall experience of the game. Non-video game publications gave positive reception to the game as well. Nick Katuki of The Village Voice gave the Xbox version a score of 9 out of 10, and stated this delightful, deep and detailed, but unfortunately not cartoon-style cel-shaded rip on the Grand Theft Auto series critiques itself better than any untenured academic could. Mark Saltzman of The Inquirer gave the game 4 out of 5 stars, and said that what it lacks in originality, it more than makes up for in its fun, easy-to-pick-up gameplay that will appeal to fans of long-running comedy. Jeff Knightley of Entertainment Weekly gave it a B. In Japan, Fat Sumo gave the Xbox version a score of 2.81718 for a total of 31 out of 40. The Simpsons Hit and Run was followed by other Simpsons video games, but didn't receive the same amount of critical acclaim, including The Simpsons Game for Xbox 360, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PSP, Wii and Nintendo DS, and The Simpsons Tapped Out for iPhone and Android. I can say personally that The Simpsons Hit and Run is by far the most fun Simpsons game that I've ever played. But that is it for today's episode of the Sleepy Podcast. If you are still awake, there are more episodes you can listen to, and head over to the playlist on my channel where you can have all of them one after the other. And you can follow me on Twitter at @thesleepypod. Thank you for listening, and good night.